In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to remove the fox's head, or remove the rest of the image of the fox apart from its head, and place it over the owl. I'm going to show you how to use two things: the Polygon Lasso tool to do that, which is this one here, and that one, Polygon Lasso Select, and also how to use the pointer tool to move things around, and how to use the eraser tool. And there are some settings. If you go here, we can set the hardness and the size of the eraser. So there's lots we're going to do in this. I'm going to pause it in places just so you don't have to watch me go around the entire outline, because otherwise it will really bore you senseless. But show you how to start off. Another thing we can do as well, as I want to get the fine detail of the fox, I would need to press Control and the plus sign on my keyboard. So CTRL, hold that down and press plus, and it allows you to zoom in. And if you get this little hand tool here, it allows you to move the whole document around. So it just means I can zoom in quite close with the fox and get a lot of detail. Okay, so what I'm going to do, making sure I've got that layer selected, I am going to get the eraser, the first tool I'm going to use, and I'm going to click here and I'm going to set the hardness to like 10%, so the edges are quite smooth. If you set the hardness to 100%, you get very pixelated edges when you go around corners and curves and things. So get to set the hardness around about 10%. Otherwise it looks too wishy-washy. And the size, let's have a look, is that you can see this little sort of circle going around. That size will do me for now. I might go down a little bit smaller. There we go. And all I need to do now is start rubbing out. And I can do this quite straightforward actually. There are no sort of finicky corners. So you can do that. And it's a very gentle exercise. If you make any mistakes, oh, I've made a mistake, just press Control Z. Control and Z is to undo. So do little strokes and then you can undo any mistakes you make. That's one of the really big secrets to photoshopping, is you can undo it any time you want. Alright, and obviously this is going to take a while, so I'm going to pause the video here. So here you go. There's still a little bit of edginess there, and I'm going to show you how to take care of that in a minute. What I'm going to do is, now I've cut the fox's head out nicely, I'm going to make the size of the eraser quite big. And I'm just going to get rid of the rest of this. In fact, I'm going to just reduce the edge, the hardness, because otherwise you get lots of this kind of bleeds out into the fox as well. So just removing all of this. Get rid of all of the rest of the image, so I'm just left with the fox's head. And so that's just using the rubber. Remember, when you're getting close up, you don't want the hardness too high. I'm going to get that little hand tool again. I'm going to move across. And I'm going to get the eraser back. Where is it? It's this tool here, and I'm going to erase that. Now I've got quite good over the years of doing this freehand, because I've done this quite a lot in the past. However, to start out with, you may want to use this tool called the Polygon Lasso, which is there, and you just hover over, click on that, hover over it. Hover over it, yeah, there we go, and you get Polygon Lasso Select. And what this does is it lets you draw shapes by just, you click the first time like that, and if you move it around, it will just follow your mouse around, and then you can click really tight little clicks between each area. You keep clicking every time you want to drop a point in there. This one takes a bit of practice, but it means that your edge removal is quite clear, like what I'm going to do over his ears there, or her ears. It doesn't matter if you actually go into the image a little bit, because guess what? You're removing content and you're creating a little fantasy animal anyway. So there we go. And if I click here, get to about there, near to where the point was started, and I just double click and I get this like dancing dotted area. And all I need to do then is get my eraser. Where is it? Can't find this. There it is. I'm going to go back here. I'm going to drop the hardness back down to about 10%. Reduce the size a bit. I'm just going to go around the outlines of the fox. And it just takes out all of those edges there. But because I had it smooth, it won't really affect it too much. So that's the Polygon Lasso. And you can do that for fine detail, and it'll only remove what's inside that area. It won't, you know, I can rub over the fox here, that's fine. But if I rub here, anything that's over the line will be removed. And once I've got that, there's a little option for deselect. You can click there, or you can press Control and D, but it deselects. And I'm going to make sure I've got the move tool on. Okay, so there's the fox's head, nice and complete. If I press Control on my keyboard and press minus a few times, this is what I'm left with. And I can obviously remove, I want to remove all that background detail out of the owl, but I'm doing a video tutorial for you, so you now know the skills required to do that. Just let's, for instance, let's go to the owl body for a minute and get the hand tool and move it. I could drop the polygon lasso in. I'm going to, just between these points here. There you go, so I've got a little shape. And remember, you just keep clicking as you move and it drops another point in for you. And I could erase that out. That's what I'd use it for, that fine sort of detail there. But again, I'm not in the business of doing the whole thing right in front of you. So I'm going to get to the point of doing the fox's head. So, hand tool. Let's go to the fox's layer. Right, we want to select the fox's layer, so we've got the fox, and I'm going to get the select tool, which is this thing here, the arrow with the plus, the move tool, sorry, and I just moved the head. Oh, the head's behind, isn't it? So I need to go move the fox. I can drag that up there. So the fox is on the top, and I moved the fox's head. Carefully checking there's no sort of bits of image left over, there aren't. I can put the fox's head on there like that. I can get a little hand again for the move it around bit. I'm going to get the owl body. I'm going to move that down a bit because it's too high up now. And I'm going to get the fox's head again. I'm going to move that down. And that's not too bad a job on that. Now, I'll show you in the next tutorial. There are little blending tools you can use as well, so you can blend in the fox's fur a little bit. And I'll do those next. But that's literally it. You've cut one out and you've put it on top of another. And I've showed you, really, if you want to remove all of the image information from around the owl, you can do. In fact, I'm going to do that now. I'm going to pause it. Because you now know how to use the Polygon Lasso and the Erasor. I'm going to pause it and just finish it off for you and just show you that. So there you go. I've removed the outline from the owl, as I promised I would. And I had the fox. There's a little eye on the layer. It looks like a little eye. You can switch it on and off to hide that layer. So there we go. We've got a fox on top of an owl. The next tutorial I'm going to show you some extra little tools in order to sort of like take bits of the fox's fur and maybe put it on the owl's body and things like that, just to kind of add to the effect a little bit. But there you go, fox on an owl, and using two layers, using the move tool, the Polygon Lasso tool to draw little edges around things, and the Erasor tool. Oh, and obviously the little hand, and there's Control plus to zoom in and Control minus to zoom out.